Hello, Monsters Abound here. This is a quick little video on the new DLC for Empire of Sin. No, you haven't travelled back in time, and no, you haven't suffered a concussion. The new DLC has literally just come out, 18th of June 2025. That means the DLC has been released like 4 years after the last DLC, the first and last DLC of the game. Now, if you don't know what Empire of Sin is, it's a game that was developed by Romero Games and published by Paradox. It's a 1920s Prohibition era Chicago gangster strategy game. You build your empire, there's some XCOM based combat, turn-based stuff going on there. Very good. Now, when it was announced, I was very excited about this, and I thought this game could be really good. I mean, it could have been. It wasn't, but it could have been good. Who knows? As it was, it released in not a particularly great state. There was no auto-resolve, so you had to fight every single little battle that you didn't even care about. Managing your empire was a nightmare. And I'm going to be honest, all the gang leaders and stuff were very generic. They were their own characters, but playing one or the other really made no difference. It was 98% exactly the same game. It was fine, but the gameplay loop was incredibly tight. I think it's fair to say. Very compact. So, just 4 short years later, finally Paradox have put out the second DLC. Now, you could pre-order the second DLC when Empire of Sin released, and obviously if people have pre-ordered that DLC, then they've been waiting quite a while. But maybe, you know, maybe there's some really good stuff in here. There's not, that's the summary, but hey, maybe there was. So there are some questions about what's going on here. It seems like Paradox have taken the game off Romero Games because the DLC, the new one, has not been developed by Romero Games. It's been developed by a developer called Moonmana, who have a very small back catalogue, not a great one either. That's not to say that they haven't done a good job on this, because I think compared to the first DLC, they have. It's fine. I don't think the problem lies with Moonmana here, but there is some questions about the Paradox and Romero game sort of relationship here. Now, it's not the first time that Paradox have had a soured relationship with a previous developer. I remember Kerberos and their game, Sword of the Stars 2, which was released in a horrendous state, absolutely horrendous, and then eventually there was some shenanigans going on there, and I think maybe either Paradox took over or what have you, but basically that game's never been right, and it will never be right. Empire of Sin, I'm concerned of, is probably in the same state. To be honest, I don't think this DLC added a thing. The reason for this DLC, in my opinion, is because there was the pre-order available. I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason for this DLC is purely to sort of fulfill the pre-orders. Now, I can't imagine many people have it pre-ordered, but I can imagine there's a few people there who have probably forgotten they had it pre-ordered, and so there was like a legal requirement there. Why Paradox didn't just refund the money, I don't fucking know, because it would have been the better idea. I do not think Paradox have done this to try and resurrect Empire of Sin. I think they've done it to fulfill a legal requirement. Moonmana certainly haven't done a bad job on it, but they haven't done a great job on it either. The first DLC, Make It Count, well, didn't really improve very much, but it came with a patch which did. There was some good quality of life stuff there, which really did, I think, lift the game up. So there was auto-resolve added. It allowed you to compact your crime empire into precincts, which then allowed you to just manage the precincts, which made things a lot easier. But the DLC itself didn't really do very much. It added a new gang leader, but gang leaders are, I mean, they don't really matter, so who cares? You got I think there was a new gang type, a gangster type, which again doesn't really change very much. I think there were some new gangsters added, some new weapons and stuff, but again, who cares? You barely notice the difference. So realistically, you know, it didn't really add very much. There's some new quests as well, but it didn't really change the game, right? It just added some additional stuff into what was already a fairly lukewarm experience.
I'm on it.
The real difference was added by the patch, so I think that's the important thing to keep in mind here, because the new DLC, called Hunt for Aurora, introduces Robin Cray of the Cray Twins fame. You can play as Robin as a gang leader and gives you access to Dance Club Racket, which, I mean, it's a new racket, it doesn't really matter. You get Sylvia, a free gangster who sort of travels with Robin, and she is a Vanguard type, which is the new gangster type. I think Sylvia and there's like one other guy, I think, are the only Vanguard types in the game. So, I mean, if you like the Vanguard type, then play them, I guess? Sure, I don't know why they made the Flapper Girl a Vanguard type, because it's like a melee I don't have a fucking clue. Doesn't matter, not important. It adds some new missions, including the aforementioned Aurora, which is a diamond that Robin is after. I mean, this isn't particularly exciting. The quests are all fairly standard. Someone talks to you, you go somewhere, you shoot a bunch of people. Boom, job done, quest complete. That's basically it. That's basically how quests work in Empire of Sin. So adding more of them is, I guess, fine. I've got no issues with that. But again, this DLC doesn't really do much different than the last DLC did. And if anything, it's almost like a carbon copy, just with, you know, a different face. For 13 quid, is it worth it? Probably not really. If you liked Empire of Sin, you can get basically the same experience from playing any of the gang leaders, right? It makes no difference really. And there are some more voiceovers, some new voiceovers from Robin and Sylvia, although I would say that I've got a sneaking suspicion, and I don't like this could just be my paranoia speaking, but I have a sneaking suspicion they may be AI, because there just feels like there's no emotion there.
Thanks. Yes, the weather is miserable, but we're used to it in London. I'm Sylvia, and this is Robin. Robin Cray.
Wow!
Either they just grabbed someone from the office to do a voiceover, or they just had it done via AI. That's my suspicion. I've got nothing to back that up with, but that's my suspicion. Now, I have been reading through some of the comments on the Paradox forum, and it does sound like, for one, the Empire of Sin Discord was shut down, but before it was shut down, people were basically being lambasted for mentioning the second DLC or asking when it was going to be out. People seem fairly upset with Romero games in general, but quite what happened there, I don't know. We've got no window into that relationship or how that panned out, right? So I don't think there's any way you can say whether this is Romero's fault or Paradox's fault. I would say that I feel like this is a DLC that has been created purely to fulfill that pre-order and nothing more. I do not think Paradox have any interest in resurrecting Empire of Sin. I do not think this DLC is worth 13 quid. I wouldn't bother if I were you. Just look, I was really hoping Empire of Sin would be good. Maybe one day we'll get Empire of Sin 2 and it will be good. Who the fuck knows? But either way, until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.